Millennium to power millennium. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. Millennium power. Namaskar. This is Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, April 3, 2022, Sunday, 3:53 a.m. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज दिनांक अप्रैल 3, 2022 रविवार 3:54। Title of talk to you same, and that is real quality coordination, engineering projects works, reliable engineers, power of communication, concrete specifications, civil engineering contracts, safety health environment designs, methods, disputed claims, parties, what we are, starting with real quality and ending at what we are. We have to identify ourselves, in fact, what we are, and that's very, very important one. Here is my email ID suraj underscore engineer at yahoo.co.uk. This is my email ID. This is my Chartered Engineer India and International Professional Engineer India. This is my certificate of professional engineer at international level. This is Chartered Engineer India certificate. This is fellow membership, fellow Institution of Engineers India certificate, and this is quality file, and this is coordination file, and I close this CE file, and I close here FIE, and also I open another file, and that is where I shall concentrate on this, that is quality or specifications of concrete requirement, and that's important. Now let me go back to quality file. Quality, very important issue. I consider very, very important issue for us, for our country, and that is Bharat India speaks about, and that's what we say it should speak about or speaks about. My dear friends, quality is soul of human being. Without quality, we cannot stay. We cannot breathe. Breathing is quality of body. If there exists a problem in breathing, you can say we exist in problem. Without soul, body cannot work, and without work, we can't survive. Soul, I am talking of soul because soul is important for everybody, and without soul we cannot live. Same way, when we talk of whatever material that exists in nature and we use that, and also whatever material we produce and use that, it may be useful for few months, few years, or whole life. It is quality oriented, and if it is not quality oriented, if it is to be used for months, it may not be used for weeks. If it is to be used for years, it may not be used successfully for months. There will be breakages, there may be breakdowns. We have to maintain again and again. And you can say, when you consider cost of whatever material, whatever product, it's not purchase cost. We have to spend cost on maintenance for its life. And if product is not qualitative, it shall break many times. It shall not work per requirements. We have to spend lot and lot and lot. That is what I am saying. We nation Bharat India speak about, but it's not Bharat India. I am saying for all. I am saying for all, and that's what it is. Real quality and real coordination. I'm talking of real quality and real coordination, and not just theoretical quality and theoretical coordination. Real means practical, that happens, that has happened and is happening. And it's everyone, and that's what I say. You and I get up for real quality, not for quality in tongue or lip service quality. Lip service is not required in profession. Profession required real quality. Quality that is delivered. We have to measure that. You and I get up for real quality. You and I get up for reliable coordination. That is where point lies in. Everyone stops everyone stops sleeping in our country because we are used to sleeping. We are used to sleeping. Everyone stops sleeping in our country. Quality and coordination. Quality and coordination should be my friend. I should be friend. They should be everybody's friend. I find quality is down and coordination has been missing. Even at top tiers who are educated, very high professionals, quality and coordination do not stay there because of various reasons. And one reason I consider is will. WILL. And we say if there is no will, there is no way. And if there is will, there is way. I do not understand why that will has gone into astray. That will does not exist, and people, I don't find that they are very serious in this case. You can count on, you can survey, you can experience whatever material, whatever product that is human based. It has certain deficiencies in its quality approach as well as people's coordination approach. Coordination is not done properly in all sectors, and that's what many problems appear. Coordination means there should be timings for something to be done, and whatever information is required for that, that should be available at that time when it's time for action or it's time for involvement comes in. And that's what I say, quality and coordinations are like something very specific for work in every sector, in every field. And that is why I say we have to make ourselves quality oriented and coordination oriented, like our body is, our body structure, body organs, and what we do. If our body does not, if my body does not have quality, it does not coordinate, it cannot remain safe, it cannot remain healthy, and I cannot call myself safe and healthy. And that's very important point. We have to realize this fact. That's what I say, be my friend and everybody's friend, because I and others cannot satisfactorily work in profession without these both domains. And I am talking to these domains imaginarily, but when I say I talk to these domains, this means that I talk to myself, because these domains are already with me. It's up to me if I use them or if I just don't use them. But I should remember there is no fixed deposit of these domains. There is no fixed deposit. You won't get any interest on compound interest on your deposits. This won't work. It's like water which becomes stagnant and doesn't mean anything. It should be move, it should be turbulent to keep itself clean. Just like the rivers clean itself by turbulence water. Sea also is turbulent when waves forms. So you can say this turbulence does not mean you should be nervous. I'm not defining turbulence and nervous relationship. It is that I and others can't satisfactorily work in profession and that is requirement without both domains. That is real quality and real coordination. Domain 1 is real quality and domain 2 is real coordination, and we should understand these facts. These facts are very, very significant. Real quality and real coordination, for which we can talk at length, we can write at length, but it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate really that we are not getting any feedback from real quality, real coordination. Where is coordination? Where is quality? That is my question. If we do not coordinate, we do not have quality, what can we do? How can we progress in life? How can we move? We should not forget, we do not do any obligation on anybody if we do quality work. We do not do obligation on anybody if we coordinate, because these are requirements. What is happening? People sometimes, many times, remain nervous, not only in engineering but elsewhere also. In general life, you can go and see there is no coordination in public life, there is no coordination in quality, there is no coordination among themselves, there is no peace prevailing. Mental stability has gone, body stability has gone, social stability has gone. And of course, this is due to political reasons and it is the social reasons. I'm not going into that direction, because when individual quality is impacted upon, it impacts every part in life, every sector in life. Life is very important. If you waste it, what we do? We can't regain it. It's like time. We say in our work, we say in our projects, time is important, cost is important, and quality is important. These three are very much requirements. Other requirements too are there, but these are very, very particular requirement. When we say we have to consider time, first of all, time means we have to decide how to use this time. We can say time is whatever we decide, this is a project, and this project has to be completed in this time. First we fix that, and accordingly we say this time means we have a requirement, we calculate that we calculate on our plans. Plans means schedules and other plans and detailings. In this period we have to finish this. It may be design work, or before design it may be survey work, which we call pre-design, and it may be prosecution of work, or you can say execution of work after design, and then completing this and renaming it to unit, or you can say project time gone, project is over, date of start of a project and date of completion of a project. When design project is started and it is completed, it is given to those who have to construct it, or even designer can construct it. So that is construction project. But when we see pre-design period plus design period plus construction period, all is equal to project period. And this means design is sub-project and construction is sub-project, and these sub-projects, when they are summed up, we get project. And then project is over. This means project is like a baby process, baby generation. We start some project at very initial stage, and you may call it pregnancy of that project. Then project starts and it works. You may say that is process of project. Just like whatever time is there, during that period we can construct it, we can build it, we can deliver it. And when it's delivered, you can say it's a birth of a baby. Yes, that is the responsibility of someone who deliver it as generated one, and person who receives it, that person has to take care of this. That project is renamed as operational unit, or some other unit for residence, or some other project is project name goes away, and it becomes part of life. It becomes an asset. It may be civil engineering project, it may be other engineering project, or it may be social projects, it may be other one. I don't relate to politics because politics everywhere exists. In works exists. There's different kind of politics, which you can say engineering politics. So we don't call it politics, but after all, whatever it is political. Means we have to help society. That's called politics. My politics is not that national politics. Politics means we have to be polite, we have to be central one, we have to be balanced mind, and balanced mind can come only when we coordinate properly. If you, when you say you concentrate yourself, when we concentrate, this means we have to concentrate not only on one point but also on many points. All points are to be considered which are involved in that, and that's called coordination. Coordination is very important in life. You cannot coordinate. My body coordinates. That's why I'm working. If I don't coordinate, or my body doesn't coordinate itself, certainly my certain part would be in problem, certain organ would be in problem. That can be understood very well. And this talk I'm giving you because I want to talk in a proper way. I want to, you can say, justify what I'm saying. It's not my justification of claims. It's a reality in life that we have to bear with this. That's why I say domain 1 is real quality. Domain 1 is real quality, and you can say domain 1 is real quality, and that's what we have to understand this point clearly in terms of what we say, what we do. And if you do not understand this point, I can't call myself an engineer because this is a very common point. Quality is a must, and coordination is a support to a must. And if I say I'm doing quality work, this means I must have performed coordination in relation to that work, that object. And that's why we are all friends together. I'm a friend of quality, I'm a friend of coordination, I'm a friend of time, I'm a friend of cost, and I'm a friend of skills. So you can say I'm a friend of, you may say, safety, I'm a friend of health, I'm a friend of environment, and I'm a friend of, thinking, I'm a friend of concentration, I'm a friend of analysis, I'm a friend of synthesis. I can say these are all points apply in life. There is no one person on earth who can say I don't think. There is no animal on earth that you can assume it does not think. Some thinking power every creature has got. Some thinking power, or you may say some natural power, everybody has got. We can't even accept otherwise, that I only can think, a human can think. I say there is capacity of thinking to some extent, of course. Human has got thinking, but it's also incomplete. We cannot think, you can say, unlimited. There is a limit beyond which I think we start saying everybody has variation, and we start saying, oh, I'm getting stressed, I'm tired, I could not decide it. Means there is some approach beyond which we cannot go. And thus I say demanded quality. You cannot leave me. I am asking quality. You cannot leave me because you are my destiny and nation's destiny as well. You are my destiny and nation's destiny as well. And others may not, but engineers can handle you both domains successfully without any problem. It is job of engineers. They are trained for that. They are trained not only in education time, during education time, they are trained on what time on projects. Engineers can handle you both domains successfully without causing any problems. We require to establish both domains permanently in engineering and professions and also other walks of life. You can say have active quality performing, may have active quality performing in application, and quality of life, have ethical quality in SHE application. You can say we should have active quality performing in applications. This means it is our duty to have it, to do it, and that is number one domain is that must have quality in SHE sufficiency. It's not simply that we should say we have SHE or safety health environment. It should be qualitative, means we should provide whatever is possible for health maintenance, safety and health maintenance, and environment. and we can say have active quality performing in applications, and real quality engineering and reliable coordination engineering. These are two: real quality engineering and reliable coordination engineering. We we cannot say we can do without that. Real quality engineering and reliable coordination engineering, these are very very important. Why I say real quality? Yes, it is real quality. We cannot do away. When I say quality, now I'm talking of quality engineering and coordination engineering. These are backbones, these are spines of engineering. If I don't do quality work, I can't do good work. My work won't be used for that duration. And of course, I can claim that quality does not cost anything extra. Just a delusion exists in people, illusion exists in people that it shall cost more. It does not cost more. We are not asking anything to spend more cost for. No, no, not at all. Why cost? This is a delusion among people. Oh, he is asking for quality and I shall lose. I don't know what shall lose if I ask for quality. How can you lose? This is just a delusion. You can lose. Real quality is quality. You cannot say you can lose. And it says that one is working design, which is a must, cannot be said. It's not a must. Manufacturing, you can say it should be processed properly according to requirements. Of course, this may be automated, but when it is not automated, even automation can have problem. Try to get this point. Construction procedures, which must be a must, because if we miss some procedure and construction sequence itself, we can miss a lot. We can miss quality, and it may cause safety issues also if we miss something. Then we can say continuously to do assessment for works, and that's the duty of everyone. Considerations for quality goals in all works. Then we can say have to fix real quality in our country, Bharat, India. We have to fix real quality. That is our job. And if we do not do that, that means we do not justice to ourselves. We don't do justice to God, because we use God's given material. We should not forget. Come what may, no excuses for any concessions. Quality is a requirement. We should not forget this point. It is our duty to do that. Can't do without that. Can't do without that. But may no excuse for any concessions. Quality is a requirement. We should understand that. I'm just trying to say again and again, quality is a requirement. I just want to put this phrase in your minds. Quality is a requirement, and particularly to minds of engineers, because engineers are responsible for bad quality or for good quality. There is no question of credit here. There is no question of debit here. Question is justification. Work's quality cannot be compromised. There is no question. And for those who compromise this, they work against God. I can simply say, you may ask why God comes in. God comes in because whatever materials engineers use, whatever materials, most material is natural one or extracted one. Even those engineers who use mineralogical based materials, we say it comes from ores, and whatever materials, it may be steel, it may be concrete, it may be gold, it may be whatever else. Means whatever we do, we use cement, for example, we use metals, for example, we use cryogenic steel, other steel, we use materials which are directly extracted from core. Now we can say these are all products God, and these products we cannot produce. And what we accept, what process is designed for, what is decided for, and if we do not pay our attention, if we do not care for that, this means we do not honor God, we do not respect God, and God cannot be happy if we do not do quality work. This is no question of considering any religion here. Religion is work. Here is religion is engineering, religion is processing, religion is our duty. And that's why we can say duty is religion, religion is God, work is religion. And this point we cannot forget. We should not forget that we have responsibility towards God. We have responsibility towards everyone. That point is really very important for me at least. And that's why I say I'm not only saying that, I believe it, and I do it to whatever extent as a person, as an individual it is possible. I should do it. Quality is a requirement, we should not forget. Work's quality cannot be compromised. There is no way. If you compromise work quality, you compromise with your actions, you compromise with your conscience, you compromise with your will. Means you do against yourself. Your act goes against yourself. Of course, maybe you can't be called a criminal here. You may not be accused here, but when you appear in that court from where you won't find any of your public member or your family member to support you. You won't find use of your money there. You won't find use of your power there. You have to answer there, and if you answer cannot be explanatory, cannot be justified, for sure you shall have to face punishment, because rules there are very, very strict. Very strict in world, you can say universal. IPC is here, and you can say Indian Penal Code, but that is a universal penal code or God's penal code from where no one can save you. And keep that in mind, that you won't even have your body, you will have your soul, and that soul, if is detrimental to you, it becomes impacting on you. How shall you feel? Keep that in mind. It's not religious issue, it is a real issue which we have to be clear about. So that's what I say. The important point here is work's quality cannot be compromised, and if we compromise, it's our problem. It's our you can say my act, means my crime. I shall be accused of that, and therefore I can say we do not intend to compromise. Why should, in just name of certain system we decide? We cannot hide behind certain system of quality. System is something else. It is not quality in itself. It is just a procedure that we define ourselves in compliance with some guidelines of ISO 9000 or whatever else, Sigma or whatsoever you can say. And that is fragile because we can amend it, we can modify it. It's not like igneous rock or like platinum It's not like thorium or something. It can be changed and it cannot, it should be enriched rather. We should have value to our system that we work upon. And that organization should also understand this, whoever constitute quality systems. And it's actually compliance required. I cannot say if quality system is operational, it works, everything is fine. No, it's not that. Because it is subject to confinement, it is subject to constraints. Nothing is perfect. We have to observe, we have to experience, and only then we can say, well, it is okay, it works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for someone else, and I can say there may be classifications in quality approach. It depends upon us how many classifications we make. Every classification may vary depending upon cost, depending upon time, depending upon so many factors. There are so many varieties of every material in market, every product in market. All varieties are okay because it depends on cost factor. It depends on durability factor. Durability of steel and durability of sand and durability of your gold can't be same. It depends. If we study properties of these materials, we can know what is the difference between this material and that material. Same way, what is the difference between this item and this item? What is the difference between this individual and this individual? We may take many doctors together and ask them. They will refer to different opinions. The same way, if engineers ask some questions, they will give some different opinions. It's very difficult to find same opinion for two engineers. It's rare. And that's what I say. Both are right. I don't say they are wrong. Both answers may be right, but they suit differently on different questions, different requirements. And that's why I say quality system may fail, but works quality must perform and be delivered. Whereas it doesn't happen currently in entire scenario in our country. And preliminary considerations are many questions. Preliminary considerations, I am saying, many questions. Where does real demanded specified quality exist? That is one question. Where does real demanded specified quality exist? And I can say answer is nowhere. Generally is answer. Why nowhere? That is a question mark. Why nowhere? Unsuccessful to find anywhere, for unfortunately it is nowhere in generally. His answer is nowhere generally. And why nowhere? And that's what I say. It is unsuccessful to find anywhere. Unfortunately, if it had been there, I would have pinpointed there is quality here. I cannot say except maybe 1% to 2 or 3% cases all are bad quality or substandard quality. So one is bad quality, one is worst quality, one is substandard. Different meanings are there. Substandard means maybe 5% substandard, maybe 25% substandard, can be 40% substandard, or it may be completely rubbish. And I say bad quality is okay. It can be called bad means it's no use, it's waste of everything. And you can say it's percentage wise 5-10% difference. When it's 5 or 10%, we may call it substandard because it's not going to mark. Even if it's 50%, we say okay, fine, at least 50% we can use it. So this way we can say, and it's completely processed wrongly and its composition is wrong, and we can say it's worst one, this can't be used. I've never seen this happen before. And that's the worst one, where this qualified coordination exists. And that's the same question. Where is coordinator? Where is the coordinator? Who checked this? Who followed this? Who ordered this and that? On what basis you ordered? Did you not know this? Doesn't belong to this. Or did you raise this question? Why did you raise this question? Why did you know this point is also relevant to this? And that's one is a coordination is a person who has experience in some work. And that's called, that person can coordinate, and that's why I say experience is required on engineering works, on technical processing or manufacturing or whatever. Experience means it's not simply number of years or number of months you work for, number of hours. It means what did you learn from that? Self-learning, it is mean job learning, it is not job training, it's self-training, we can say. In fact, time has come. We have to do self-study. We have to do self-learning. We have to do things. And when we do ourselves, means we observe what we do. We observe others' works. We observe every day what we do, how we control. And that observation is also a kind of training to everybody. It's work training, job training, much more significant than educational training, because in educational training there is no relation to experience, there is no relation to reality of life. But on job training or on work training, what we can say, we learn it due to experience. That's important one, and that cannot be taken for granted. They cannot be isolated from our considerations, and that's why we can say training is important. Means real training, work training. Why? Those who new boys and girls who come off universities from various engineering universities or from medical universities, why they are allowed, why they are asked to go for practical training, that's called internship, whatever, because they should be exposed to reality of life, what they have to do. In university, you cannot be exposed to that portion. This is practical only. Always you have professors with you, with those people, those students, and guides is available, and they cannot take independent responsibility. When you are in field, you have to spend material, you have to spend money, time, and you have to, of course, learn from that. And if you concentrate, if think about everything, then you can be a better person. Thinking is a quality one should have, concentration is the quality one should have, and you can say analysis is much more important than everything. If you can think, you can analyze. If you cannot think, you cannot analyze, because thinking and analysis are important points together. We have to be very serious about that. If I cannot think on something, this means I am foolish. I have degrees in engineering, I have minds, and I don't want to think just because it is stressful. I can say I am not engineer in that case. How can I say there is stress? Stress exists everywhere. You cannot get rid of that. When you even stand on ground, it is stressful for ground, but ground does not say I can't help you. Ground helps you. Earth helps you. Earth is always stressed, but it doesn't run away. Earth doesn't run away. It cannot say no, I don't help you. Road cannot say I don't help you. Railway track, you can say how much load comes on that of train continuously. It doesn't say I don't help you. So that's not a question here. Question is stress is nothing but a state of mind. It's just a state of mind. Just like you walk, you feel some resistance or some reaction on your soul or feet. Same way when you are heated up by sun, solar energy, you feel some stress, and it goes in form of sweating. Same way, mind is stressed because your mind is not very fast, it's not very strong. You have to strengthen your mind, means you have to add mental power, and that's really very important point you have to understand. When we study for 5 years in schools and colleges, and then 11, also before that we study 12 classes. What is that process? This doesn't mean you are going to get information. Information you can get otherwise also. It's because your mind is trained for that stress. 12 years in schools and 4 or 5 years in degree in engineering or medical science, and you can say about 20 years, 25 years off from your birth. You are made, you are trained to feel, to accept these stresses. Your brain should be, your body should be having that resistance to accept this, to digest this. And if you cannot do, then you have no answer. This what I say means this is first red line. We should remove that. We should not have stress, because it's feeling only. I can say, okay, there is a problem, I could not do that job, I did not know how to do it, that is my stress. But then I have to know how to do it, that's all, nothing else. Your stress is useless, because you just started getting nervous because you don't have any answers. You have to find answer to that, and whatever problem you have to find answer to that, and you have to link that answer to that problem which generated that issue. And when you deliver it back, that is over. And that's to be frank, that is the reality of life. We have to understand that point. And that's why I say existing red lines to be resolved. So first red line is individuality. If individual personality is resolved, we can find many solutions. It's really interesting to note like this. And I say existing red lines to be resolved. Can we bring working environment to quality and coordination requirements? And that's very important point. Working environment, though every environment is working environment. Even at home, we maybe you work, you don't work. You should have harmonious environment in your family. You must have harmonious environment in your society. It may be working society, or it may be a home society, or a social organization, or when you are a member of society, which everybody is, irrespective of getting registered or not, you are a member of society. And whatever it is means, we have to make it better. Environment here, just like we say, environment in which we are living, that should be better. That's physical one. Environment given to us by nature in terms of air, seas, water, sunlight, and all soil. It's all part of environment. And if you cannot keep it, if you cannot maintain it, of course then it's a question to be resolved, and that's another red line. We have already made many red lines in life, like pollution red line, disease red line, health red line, plastic red lines. We have so many red lines. We have created ourselves, knowingly or unknowingly, just for sake of economy upliftment. We have created another negative economics. I can call it negative or adverse economics. Due to pollution, we have been facing health issues. We have been facing, further degradation issues. We have taken out trees from all over there, and we say we have planted more, but it takes time. It won't take 1 or 2 years, taking 50 decades for that tree to grow. Same way we have done everything that is harmful to us itself. You see, we have spoiled air, we have purified air. Air is very important part. We cannot live without, and we did not even think that time. Maybe somebody thought, but nobody cared. And if you pollute air, what shall be consequences? And we cannot refresh ourselves even by resting, even by relaxing. We can't. You have to breathe polluted air all time, and no one can help you. And that's the important point, that God gave us something which was free of cost, and we should have maintained it. We did not do, and that's why I say working environment. This is a part of working environment: heat and air and temperature, and you can say efficiency of mind and intention to work. Intention to work, not for just making money. Money is of course there everywhere, but you have to feel happy. You have to keep your mind busy. You have to think more and more, because these are facilities which just come because of your body is living. And once your body is dead, means no way you cannot do anything, because you leave that body. So it's my red line that I have to correct myself as an individual, and that point I should not forget. This is first red line. Other lines are, if you are a good person, you are hardworking, sincere person, you have certain quality that you have calculate your own character. That's important. So you can say certain red lines must be turned green. And I'm just giving color due to traffic, because red lines we had to stop, and when we have to move, then red line should be on. That's we have to see red line and green line. There may be other lights also, but that's not of much importance in this talk. Here we are concentrating on coordination, we are concentrating on quality, and of course we are concentrating on you can say cooperation. Though I not written it, but cooperation is very much natural, just like natural agencies cooperate together. This is a lesson to everybody, that natural agencies, whatever are they, and nature, whatever it is, it may be whatever is universe, you can say, in the field also in nature, there exists a coordination among all. Otherwise the system would not work. Sometime it will have collide itself, all planets could collide. That didn't happen because of science of God. Science is also given by God. It's only misconceptions say it's my formula or it's my one. You don't have any formula, because you are not original. You are not original owner. Original owner of everything is that power which is God. It's not religion oriented, it is practically oriented. I have energy, I have body. God has given me this body. It has not only given, but it maintains also this body. And every item on earth, every article on earth is maintainable and it's maintained. Everybody has different bodies, different features. Souls are also different, but everything is same. You can say contents are constant, maybe qualities and parameters, or you can say parameters are different. And that's point we have to realize in this way. Certain red lines that must be turned green, and that must be a must. And can we know and apply product and work quality standards complied with overseas, or for example GCC countries, which he calls GCC country. Also others are just reference. I'm not saying that you have to do whatever is done in Gulf Cooperation Council and or elsewhere, which elsewhere can be USA, this can be UK, this can be Europe, this can be Asia, this can be Middle East, whatever. Or else just GCC is a reference here, means because I have been there and I understand what is working quality there. They are much better than, I'm not saying that exactly what, but it seems if you comparatively study this, study or compare to, if you have an opportunity, you can compare this, or from information available, which will not find information about engineering works and about coordination. I don't find in abundance on internet at all. Nothing is there. It's surprising, really. I could understand how people miss coordination if coordination was not to be missed. There, and you can say these all these websites have been filled with that. There will be many thousands of writers who would respond, but it's not happening. It's not happened. It's really unfortunate. Society is not serious in this matter. That point should be very seriously considered. Otherwise, there is no way out. We cannot do anything that way. We can say, can we now apply product and work quality standards complied with other countries on buildings and on plants, facilities? That is one consideration. You can say that we have to think about standards, and we have to think of, can we work on required coordination, bearing activities, or achieve defined or expected quality profile on works. And that's very important point also. Can we work on required coordination, which we are not working on? Very few people work on that, particularly those who have some decision that I will do complete, and that type of persons are very rare. Because now I have to take responsibility of this, even I am employed. And that situation, that state existed before. Everybody used to feel one is responsible for within certain limits. And can we work on required coordination, bearing activities to achieve defined or expected quality profile on works? And then why we should not revisit quality required specification? And that is really very important part of this talk, that why we should not do this or do that. Why we should not do that's my point of view, is why we should not that. What's problem after all? After all, why we say it's a problem, though it's not a problem. It's just something we can say. We can say that why we should not revisit quality required specifications and update per world working standard requirements. And that's point we say, no, I did that job there and I want to do that again here. I want to repeat that work which I did so many years back. But we should refer to development, we should refer to advancement of technology, we should refer to what has changed. So that's point, means we have to learn from our past. Everybody knows it. It's not something new that we say we should not. We should learn from our past, and that is really wonderful to think of and to refer to. It's not simply you can say, no, I have said you have to do it, that's not the why we should not revisit quality required specifications and update per working standard requirements. Why we should not do that? Why we should not revisit quality required specifications and update per world working standard requirements? Why should we not apply work relational coordinations requirement? And is it not a most reliable solution? And that point we have certainly worsening state of quality at works and how to improve such mandated works quality to certain minimum required marks. And that's an important point here. And really we have certain worsening state of quality of works and how to improve such mandated works quality to certain minimum required marks, at least to match with minimum international requirements. And this is where you may say worsening state is, of course, is it not a most reliable solution? Why should we not apply work relational coordination requirement? Now, these 3 or 4 points are very important. We say why we should not revisit quality required specifications. Why not to do that? If there is something more, we can make it better. We can come out of our convention. We can come out of what practice used to be. We should not say this is packable or impackable. It depends on experience, it depends on various experiments. Sometimes it looks so difficult, but it can be so easy. And sometimes it looks so easy, but it's so difficult. It happens. So we have to think again and again why we have designed this. Okay, design, if you have done it, it can be changed. It takes, it's impeccable. If I change this design or do something else, okay, I accept design is fine to do it. What designer thinks for that money, designer should be clear about how to design, and then how you have to be keep in mind what variations can happen on this. You can't take situation ideal because it's not ideal. We have to be very careful about this. That's not ideal, and why we should not revisit quality required. We have to visit. We have to revisit. It's our job. We can't say why not. We should not revisit quality required specifications and update forward working standard requirements. Why should we not apply work relational coordination requirement? Is it not a most reliable solution? Yes, that's what I have to think of. Really, we have certainly worsening state of quality of works and how to improve such mandated works quality to certain minimum required marks, and that's our job. We have to do it at least to match with minimum international requirements. Should we not force ourselves to work on coordination in each activity? We have to. And worsening state of quality of concrete and how to improve such mandated quality to certain minimum required marks, that's also a point we have to bear in mind. We have to think about. We have certainly worsening state and we have to think about this. And also we have concrete component in construction. That's what we have to think about again. Very important part of life is concrete component in construction. Concrete component in constructions, we are talking of concrete component in constructions amounts to major percentage of cost, and therefore it becomes incumbent on us to care about quality of such component. Concrete is very important metal, we all know, and it is manufactured material. Its product, it's not available in nature directly. Concrete is not available in nature. Ingredients are available. Concrete ingredients are available. Concrete is not available. Stone is available. Sand is available. Or you can say nothing else is available. Stone aggregate we call. This comes from rocks. Same way our sand comes from rocks. Sand also comes from riverbeds. Sand also comes from pits. We have such sources we call pit sand, or we call crust rock. smallest particles, which we call rock dust, and also we called river. From riverbed we get this sand. This also, it's not original material there in riverbed. This also comes with water due to erosion of stone, and this can be igneous rock dust. It can be sand stone, or you can say limestone dust. It can be very fine. You can say there's no strict. It depends on its fine aggregate after all that we consider in concrete material, coarse aggregate and fine aggregate are various divisions. We can say some particle is fixed, that above this we call coarse aggregate and below this we call fine aggregate, and much below then we can call it sand, particles like clay or silt, which are very very fine, and these various, but all these are natural products. This may be stone aggregate, this may be otherwise dust, or it may be, you can say, sand. These are called ingredients, part ingredients of concrete. And then ingredients is cement or lime. If you say cement, it is cement itself is composed of lime and silica, and silica is a natural material, that is sand. A specific kind of sand with some particle distribution. And we say, what is particle distribution? We know very well there are so many small size of particles, varying size of particles in your stones, and when we crush them, crush rocks, these are different size of particles, and we have to know how many percent of this size of particle it is, 12 mm, 20 mm, 14 mm, likewise. And what a same particle size applies to sand, applies to fine aggregate. When I say fine aggregate and coarse aggregate, I refer it to particle size, otherwise it's all material only, and we have to care about this. When we talk of this particle size, we have to care about this, what we say about this, and this particle size is very important. And because of particle size, bigger particles, if you keep together at one place, there are some holes of voids among these particles because of gaps. There are some gaps, and these are called voids in that material. And those voids should contain smaller size particles, and there will be voids again in that smaller size particles, which should get much more smaller size particles so that this volume is completely filled in, and there remains no void. Means we have bigger size particle, then smallest size particle, and in between smallest and bigger size we have intermediate size particles. So these are all aggregates of different sizes, various percentage of particles of this range to that range we say, and accordingly we call this coarse aggregate and fine aggregate. Aggregate is there, it is standard name aggregate, we can't change that, and that's what we say. Coarse components in construction, concrete component in constructions amounts to major percentage of cost, and therefore it becomes incumbent on us to care about quality of such component, and that's what major percentage they vary, and accordingly there is a standard fixed in bias that this range is coarse aggregate and this range is fine aggregate. And even in fine aggregate there's further class down, which we can say this is cohesive class, and this is not cohesive class. This is cohesive class, means very very fine. Particularly if you say clay is cohesive class, is very small particle size, very very small particle size, which everybody cannot even think of or imagine. It's of course out of common and professional understanding about why do we have no seriousness in this regard. We should be serious, but we are not. And that's also a very important point. We have to be clear about why we are not serious about that. And seriousness is life, and we can say it's of course out of common and professional understanding about why do we have no seriousness in this regard. Worsening state of communication and coordination during working of our engineering and designs and executions or construction activities. Determined and dedicated role of engineers towards realizing these requirements, or else quality remains a myth. Do you want that quality should be myth, or you expect, or you agree that we should have quality of materials, quality of products, quality of service. Now decision remains with public. It doesn't is not commanded by me. Public has to command, public has to accept, but public should be taught what is quality, and that's important point. Even though ordinary person can say I bought this material, I bought this item, but it's not giving, it's not doing, it's not working for my expectations, and this means your selection may be wrong, because you do not understand what quality you wanted and what quality you got. There may be a difference of opinion in that. What quality I wanted, what I got, and that's the point. We have to be serious about in this case, and that's my proposition, you can say. And the worsening state of communication and coordination during working for engineering designs and executions and construction activities, and that's also very very important, because working state is a significant one. We have to be very serious about. We have to think it seriously. We have to work seriously on this. We can't simply take it for granted. Worsening state of communication. That is the point here. What do you understand by communication? My question to everyone is, can you think of this? What is communication? You would say just pass one message to others. Just send SMS to others, and that's all. That's one part, I agree. I agree one part. But what mechanism you have within yourself for communication? My question is that. You can communicate with everybody, that is common communication, that is nothing to do with you. When I say communication, this means communication that is used in life, that is concrete, that is solid, that results in something. It can equip you with certain property, with certain, you can say, tool. I can say it's a non-physical tool. Communication is non-physical tool. It's flow of information from one location to another, or from one person to another. And it's not personal, but it is for information use. If I get some information through communication, either it is useless for me, or it is to be used, or it's only for information. And for ignoring, that cannot be called communication. That is just a message. Meaning of communication is that it should be made a resource. Communication plus communication plus communication. It's not same communication but different communication. This all make up for coordination. Communication is support to coordination, and communication is support to object. When we prepare documents for something to do, which we can say project or work, we do that, and that is very much specific, that we collect that point, we use that point information. There may be many requirements for communication, there may be many requirements for coordination, there shall be many requirements for some item to be worked upon. And we say that communication is a world in itself. Today we have different modes of communication. That time has gone that we had only letter communication. We have electronic communication. But there's another problem also. Because of electronic communication, electrical or digital communication, electron-based communication, we have got benefits, which is very fast. It saves a lot of time, and you can say, but problem lies in its organization, its handling, which people usually call management. I don't call it management. It's just how to store this and how to use it when it is required. Immediately we use that. We have these points to realize that coordination is to be affected, that can be affected only by reliable communication. If I keep filling up, I find I get in communication and I keep somewhere in a computer and I don't even have hard copies of that. And if I want to find it for something else, I want to use it, it's very difficult sometimes to extract that or to find where it is hidden. Digital communication is better because it's very rapid, it's fast, but its handling in memory is very difficult. Just like we say, you have so many passwords. Just an example I am giving you. This is, control of communication. My communication should not be referred by anyone. My communication should be referred by me only. If I wanted to give to someone, I can give to someone. That's also very important, that in digital world you have many passwords for these requirement. You can't keep them, you can't remember them all the time, except with very special cases. For example, bank account is very special case, very specific secret case. Likewise, every site wants to give you a password is very complicated. So we can say communication has been made very complicated rather than being easy. It has been made very complicated and it makes life of individual little difficult in that case. And we have to keep this factor in mind while holding this, that communication, if it's not controlled, if I cannot control my communication, in that case I cannot do my coordination successfully. And that point is very important to understand. Communication is related to coordination, and coordination is related to work. This is like that. We can't just go away. We can't just finish at one point. It is related to each other. Communication comes from documents. When we do projects, we require details of project, and those details are available in many files, or you can say in hard copies and soft copies both, and many files are available there. This is all communication: written communication, drawing communication, sketches communication, contract conditions communications, specifications communications, or whatever else. All these documents are called construction contract document, or design and construction contract document, or construction contract document, or EPC, engineering procurement construction documents. These constitute paperwork or software for contract. And contract that I refer to means there always exist two parties on contract. One party is called financial responsibility or owner of that project, who takes every responsibility if it is good or it is bad, financially or otherwise, and all others which points are used in that system of communication. All points must be under control, otherwise we can't do it successfully. And that's why contract documents must be known. These must be designed properly. All specifiers, all authors of those contract documents must have experience in that field, otherwise there is no meaning of reliability of those documents, because Just theoretically we did that, which has got no relation to work or no relation to how to coordinate with others. That's really very important point. Communication should be very clear. Just talking is not enough. You have to think on communication, and it can be clear message. There should be no ambiguity in that text, in that design of text that we use for communication. If there are clashes, we have seen on drawings itself, or there will be clashes between or conflicts between whatever is designed for and whatever is given in writing to do. And even if you do that, you can't do it. It is this process of communication, process of work has got some ambiguities which cannot be fulfilled, which cannot be formed, and that's really some point we have to be sure about, that communication, coordination, very important during working for engineering design and executions. We have to take that responsibility ourselves. It can't be thrashed, it can't be discarded, not at all. We have to care about that worsening state of communication and coordination during working of for engineering designs and executions or construction and activities. Determined and dedicated role of engineers towards realizing these requirements, or else quality remains a myth. Now, how much can we write? How much can we think? And when contract is concerned, contract is a document. It's not ordinary document. It's document chartered by both parties, contractor and owner. Though both are contractors, but one is entitled owner or promoter and other one is his contractor. Okay, I don't have any problem with that. But there must be clear definition of responsibility divisions, usually called division of responsibility. What party's responsibility is what? That point you have to consider. And it's not simply just make some hole and fix in that. No, it's not that. It's the reality of project. It's the reality of life. We have to understand. We have to understand what we are going to do, how we are going to do, and how we should avoid that nonsense. That point is very important one. That point is very important one. We have to understand this clearly. We should use communication professionally. We should use coordination professionally. We should use given information professionally. We should have courage. We should have potential to read what is given to us, to understand designs what are given to us. And not only that, we should know what level of work we have to do. This means details we are given, specifications we are given, conditions we are given, procedures we are given, or we have to chart out. That depends on what sort of work it is. And these are all very particularly on EPC contracts, which we call engineered project, where engineering is to be done by contractors, procurement is to be done by contractors, and before procurement, design is to be done by contractors, and construction is to be done by contractors, maintenance is to be done by contractors, or you can say much more than that is to be done by contractors, because it is not simple one design. Is project design, which involves all disciplines, and particularly on contracts related to petrochemicals or related to infrastructure facilities, where processes are required, where industrial practice is required. It's industry, a place with industry in all fields. That what is dependent on our use, and we generally call it economy of a country. Economy we call it rather than country. So we have to see like this, determined and dedicated role of engineers towards realizing requirements, or else quality remains a myth. It is engineer. Term itself is very intelligent person. If intelligent person cannot do it, what sort of engineer is? I don't I don't respect such engineers who do not want to take responsibility of everything. An engineer means a person of distinction, distinguished person in society. You can say is called engineer. Likewise, distinct person of society is called doctor, and these are two. Doctor means all medicos I'm talking, and say the engineers I'm talking of all manufacturing units and design units and work units, whatever are there. So whole society is covered in that. There is no limit. You may also call others, it depends. We have to understand this point excellently, intellectually, or else it becomes an issue. Can we do it, or we are incompetent, inconsistent societies, communities in engineering? At that point we have to see, can we do it, or we are incompetent, inconsistent societies and communities in engineering? Are we engineering force or incapable? That's what we have to assess ourselves. Are we incapable? If we are incapable, how to make us capable? Just leaving at a point you're incapable doesn't mean your job is finished. If you find someone incapable, either one should know self I'm incapable, then you have to make yourself capable, and that's the only solution. You cannot simply say always I am incapable. If someone is incapable, okay, in general you may say someone, but as far as individual particular case is concerned, where we are impacted upon, and certainly we have said that means, are we that? Can we do it, or we are incompetent? And that incompetence factor shall go on. It must go. We are not incompetent. We are made incompetent. And at that point we have to understand. We have to go, and that's why we have to see ourselves, and we have to see that very. I just not feel sorry. I can take a few minutes from you so that I come back in 5 minutes. So we can say it's of course out of common and professional understanding about why we aren't serious. Why we are not serious? But there's a point here. We are not serious. Why we are not serious? It's a big question mark. As I said, concrete component in construction amounts major percentage of cost, and therefore it becomes incumbent on us to care about quality of such component. We have to be very careful about, as I said in concrete discussions, specifications of concrete. It's very important to understand this also because of various requirements. And we were somewhere here, chapter ready mixed concrete, and before that we were somewhere it had somewhere here in you consider ready mixed concrete. In plasticization we discussed post plasticization, we discussed plasticization and everything, and we said plasticization of concrete. I'm talking of concrete for reference only. Both I'm talking to each other and also I'm talking about coordination, reliable coordination, engineering projects, public and engineering for reliable quality engineering works deliveries. Reliable coordination engineering is a must. A professional engineering note for all. It's not just a note, it is something that's a real one. Missing real coordination means missing good engineering. All time I say, I still remember those times when I was in the raw world, that there was no, for example, you can take this you can see this project delivered in 1987, 86, I'm sorry, 86. This delivered 1986, and this was delivered to state of Qatar in Hamsalal. This is a school building. It's just one example I'm giving you. I'm not saying this is a school. There are hundreds of schools in that state, and this is one of those ordinary schools. This was this RCC structure, this construction. I was the site agent there. I was contractors agents on behalf of Alatia Contracting and Trading Organization, trading company. We used to call it ALCAT, ALCAT, Alatia Trading and Contracting, Alatia Contracting and Trading Company. And this project was designed by Qatar Consultant Groups, QCC. They were supervisors, they were managers, they were organizers there to administer this contract over Alatia Contracting Company contractor. And honor this was civil engineering department of that country. It was RCC structure, completely 2.5 story, somewhere 1 story. This is about 2 story. Assembly hall. This was workshop area, single story. This was classrooms with stairs here, and classrooms here, double story. This also same classrooms here, double story. This is some laboratory and lecture halls, and this is office areas, and this was one mosque. So on an average, you can say it was a 2-story structure, RCC structure, with having hollow block walls and isolated foundations or combined foundations somewhere. This was 18 meters span, 18 meters at that time in those days when there was no limited state designs. It was done on basis of working strength designs, which is obsolete these days, but it was in that time and beautifully it was done. I learned a lot design from here itself. And this is because air handling units capped on this corridor, open corridor. Open means roof covered, but sides or slits you can call it. These corridors, and this is chiller units placed on roof of workshop. And similarly, you can say there is a guard room here, guard room or watch room. This is substation, electrical substation here. This is boundary wall quite long. Mosque here for purpose of prayers. And other arts infrastructures like this is pergola. You know what is pergola? Pergola, and this is an open area for flags, so for collection of people for flag hoisting ceremony. This is polycarbonate shading here now. So this project in those days I worked upon, and there was no computer in those days. We had to do everything. We had to do everything based on our own, and it was so beautiful considerations in those days. And as if I devoted myself on this. We had to devote because I had to work as a site engineer, I had to work as a planner, I had to work as a quantity surveyor for work quantity. I mean not for quantities to be placed in order. And daily quantity surveyors can say, and I was also whereas a surveyor, sometimes we have to do survey to, after main points are located, then we have to check levels for sun, depending on, it's not always same. Then you have to work as foreman, though there are staff every year, but direction is important. I have to work out bar bending schedule, I have to work out concrete quantities, I have to work out block works, I have to work out filling, or whatever is required so that work should move. Complete manual work, you compare that to today's. And we used to sit down and do ourselves, and even at home sometimes you had to do. And of course it was about 6,000 cubic meter passes in 1 year. The structural concrete is always 5 to 10 times more quantity. If you take it other structure, means where different types of works done is, work in buildings quantity is lesser than works others. That's why I'm trying to mean there were so many clashes also seen in this. So many subcontractors were available. Still I remember there was voltage, there were tracks. I still remember mechanical subcontractor or air conditioning subcontractor were tracks engineering, and there was electrical subcontractor voltage engineering. I still remember that. I'm sure there were there many others, not one two. Then there were doors, wooden doors and windows, and aluminum doors and windows. Likewise, means I can't exactly remember. It was in 1987, 86, 13 years back. No, sorry, not 13 years back. 85 or 86. You can say 86, 14 time 14, 35 years back. I don't know what status of that building today. This was downed by from Google itself. So I can't say what status. Once I visited that, there was no problem now. Same way, this another building before that building was done. This was in 1986, 87, and this was in 1982. This one, maybe I was responsible for this portion of building directly, and also other works on these areas. This is Daral Thavla project. It's written Daral Thavla plus complex building. And in 1982 it was done, 1982-83, and I was there. It was a subcontractor job for us. It's a Jordan main contractor, Jordan or United Engineering is first name. United Engineers or Engineer exactly. It's a Jordan company, and I was responsible on behalf of Eurodeck and Associates, not Jordan. Means I was responsible on behalf of a subcontractor for concrete works and tower concrete, tower structure, and other miscellaneous items of finishing. This was also a very beautiful experience. We have learned Iraq quality. I do not know anything about what quality control approves. It was really beautiful at that time. That we had to work on this quality system, and I learned a lot from those supervisors from Iraq government. And I thought this was quality. And in fact, till now, I've not seen that quality. And even though there's advancement, there's a digitalization of everything. In that those there was no digitalization, but quality was available. Now digitalization doesn't mean it gives you quality, and don't depend upon digitalization for quality. Quality comes from practical work, not from electronic world. We are slaves now. We have made ourselves slaves to digital world, and that's my thing. We can't coordinate properly. Means we depend on coordination also software. That's nonsense. How can you depend upon a software for proposed coordination for planning? You have to think. And I still remember, I don't like that to say, but I don't feel it good sometimes in that way. So you can say like that structure. It's all completely manual. Of course, this is on a computer, but it is a manual calculation we had to do for lift well. It's lift well, and we have to do shutters on this, for which you can say we have to do detailing as such so that everybody knows what to do. It's called shop drawing or working drawing, whatever you call it. Likewise, I will discuss these later on now because I don't want to waste time for this. I'm just trying to say concrete about plasticization of concrete, and that's important. And as quality, I want to reflect this quality. I will link it to concrete here. Plasticization of concrete. Plasticization of concrete shall be carried out after considering walls, rails such as materials, mixed proportions, likewise fluidity enhancing methods, and time until completion of placement so that quality requirements for concrete can be met. It's really important. plasticization of concrete shall be carried out after considering details such as materials, mixed proportions, fluidity enhancing method, and time until completion of placement so that quality requirements for concrete can be met. And that is really interesting. That's a very interesting one to move or what to do with that. In this case, we have some comments here. Slump can be increased. Just a minute, please. Slump can be increased by adding plasticizer. That is first answer. Slump can be increased by adding plasticizer to concrete in drum of truck agitator member that has transported concrete from concrete plant to construction site and stirring mix until it becomes homogeneous. Use of plasticizers is effective when required slump cannot be maintained until placement of concrete is completed. So use of plasticizer is effective if required slump cannot be maintained until placement of concrete is completed. Super plasticized concrete with a slump comparable to that of ordinary concrete helps prevent thermal cracking and achieve higher quality because water content in cement can be reduced. Changes in slump of super plasticized concrete over time, however, differ considerably from those of ordinary concrete, and excessive use of plasticizers may have adverse effects such as on segregation. It leads to segregation and changes in air content on quality of concrete. When trying to increase fluidity of concrete, it is necessary to carefully study details such as materials, mixed proportions, fluidity enhancing methods, namely timing, quantity of super plasticizer to be added, mixing time and method, management of time or observation of time until completion of placement, taking into account slump retention time after plasticization, and noise control so that quality requirements for concrete can be met. Chemical admixtures added to concrete before plasticization. Chemical admixtures added to concrete before plasticization may not go well with plasticizers, and there may be adverse effects on their respective use. You can say chemical admixtures added to concrete before plasticization may not go well with plasticizers, and there may be adverse effects on concrete. Undesirable combinations therefore need be identified in advance. Amount of increase in slump needs be kept. Amount of increase in slump needs to be kept within range that doesn't cause segregation of plasticized concrete. As a general rule, therefore, amount of increase in slump shall not exceed 10 cm and 5 cm to 8 cm shall be regarded as standard value. General rule is amount of increase in slump shall not exceed centimeter 100 mm or 50 to 80 mm shall be regarded as standard values. Post-plasticization slump varies widely depending on pre-plasticization quality of concrete, type of doses of superplasticizer concrete, temperature, etc. Because slump retention time may become shorter, time until completion of placement should be managed by checking in advance on slump retention time. Reflowing of plasticized concrete. Reflowing of plasticized concrete may generate reflowing of plasticized concrete may generate segregation or delay of setting time if concrete due to an oversupply of plasticizer and consequently have a bad influence on performance of hardened concrete, such as durability, strength in long run, in long term, and so on. Therefore, reflowing should be avoided in plasticized concrete. There are also many other considerations, such as methods of adding plasticizers, noise due to high-speed rotation of truck agitators, and exhaust gas control. When using plasticized concrete, recommended practice for concrete containing plasticizers should be consulted in advance. Here is now ready-mix concrete, which is nowadays, I think, exclusive. Ready-mix concrete is used generally everywhere, and manual mixing or machine mixing on site is obsolete except in very insignificant parts like blinding concrete or fill concrete for structures. Generally, ready-mix concrete is used, with exceptions of course when we don't have any other solution. So we can say ready-mix concrete here, which is really, you can say we meet this requirement or we don't meet. That is a different point, but that is what we say is something kind of essential requirement these days. It's something that we can't run away. As a general rule, ready-mix concrete we usually call RMC should be one that conforms to specifications. Of course, whatever specifications, no need of specifying this only, it's just a reference. Prior to purchasing ready-mix concrete, a plant shall be selected. Plant means batching plant, or your own batching plant you have to install, you have to erect your own batching plant or controlled concrete mixing plant, so that required quality of concrete that you have to use can be obtained, and it may be whatever specification you want to apply, you can apply. Ready-mix concrete RMC specifies requirements such as what type of concrete it is, what quality of ready mix we have to use, and what are mixed proportions, materials, manufacturing, quality control, and test methods. Appendices specify details such as requirements for aggregate to be used for ready mix concrete and test methods to be used. Now, here what we say in JIS, that is Japan's specifications, and also it is 5308, does not necessarily agree with the specification. Requirements 5308 are designed to cover a wide range of requirements. It is usually possible therefore to procure concrete of quality specified in specifications. So when you can say, when purchasing certified ready-mix concrete or some other code, it is necessary to carefully consider quality of concrete is specified one and select accordingly competent plant. Specify quality requirement that you have and conduct acceptance inspections so that concrete of required standard can be obtained, required specification can be obtained. If provisions in this specification differ from provision of others, standard method is to follow more stringent of two sets of provisions. It depends, means whatever we approve we have to give available, we say we have to, not talking of ready mix. If concrete that doesn't conform to standard in terms of materials, mix proportions, quality criteria, is purchased for reasons such as purpose for use of concrete or construction conditions, mix requirements or other details must be fully discussed with producer and trial mixing must be conducted on an as needed basis to verify quality and determine mix proportions with respect to matters not specified herein. In other words, even in cases where ready-mix concrete that doesn't conform to this is used, it is necessary to select a plant that manufactures certified product. And so it depends on your procedure, your requirement. Sections of plant selection, how to select plant is a brief here. May not be sure what is that. Ready-mix concrete plants should be selected from list that's approved and preferably from plants that have been permitted by quality controls, inspectors or others, or yourself as an engineer, and conference to use its certification marks. If other plants are required to be selected, a certified chief concrete engineer or concrete engineer or an equally knowledgeable and experienced engineer or material expert should be permanently posted, and plants should be selected from those capable of performing mix design and quality control appropriately. Matters to be considered for selection of concrete plants shall include transportation time to site. That's the important point. Matters to be considered for selection of concrete plants should include transportation time to sites, unloading time, and concrete production capacity, number of transporting vehicles or transit mixers or truck mixers, manufacturing equipment, conditions of quality control, and so on. So we have this is we have to consider concrete requirement, transportation time, unloading time, production process, capacity of production, capacity of transportation, and mixer and other facilities such as ice, or we can say plasticizers, admixtures, microsilica, GGBS, PFA, whatever that is required, we have to take into our consideration while evaluating performance of ready-mix plant. Ready-mix concrete plants vary widely in terms of production facilities, production technology, quality controls under Industrial Standardization Act, that is in Japan. At request of ready-mix concrete plants, the state authorized various sector certifying organizations. Now, conform